to manufacture items that are natural, hair, skin, and even household items. So our mission is to use from the earth sustainably in a manner that would not harm our environment, harm people's livelihoods, and giving back to the earth. So what we do is manufacture. We have creams, we have shampoos, we have conditioners. We do all sorts of hair products and skin products. And more recently, we have been manufacturing household items in terms of room sprays, so linen sprays as they are called, to refresh your laundry, your clothes, your bed linen, those sort of things. And so we only use natural ingredients. And so from the inception of the business, we have been producing, but manually. So a lot of our processes have been done manually. For instance, we will use raw materials, for example, herbs. And we use a lot of herbs in our oils. We have a growth elixir oil with over 34 herbs and different oils in there. And first of all, we have to get the herbs from the farmers. So we have collaboration with some farmers and some local people in the community who procure those herbs for the business. Herbs such as aloe, zuti, I don't know if you're familiar with zuti or fireman as they call it. So all these different herbs, they are collected by the farmers for me. I don't do it myself. So we have that link where I contact them to get my herbs. Then when I get the herbs, they have to be dried. I use good old sun to dry the herbs. And from them, when they are dried, we cut them up into smaller pieces and then we use them in the oil. So the process is collecting, drying, and then infusing them in the oil. There are other processes where we have to heat stuff up. So we have like solid butters, we have oils that we have to mix together. We will have to heat them up. So on a stove, we just use a plain on stove to heat them up. And then we use like a hand mixer, what you'd use to make cake, the same mixer that we use. And we mix. And then after we mix, sometimes we let it cool. We have to use a refrigerator sometimes to cool some of the products before they can be bottled, or we to speed up the process, we use the refrigerator, but it can be left out in the open. And sometimes we let it cool overnight, and then we have it ready for bottling. And before we bottle, we have to make sure that we sanitize everything. So that is very important in production, that your workspace is clean, your floors are clean, your tables are, your countertops are wiped down, and especially in the COVID time, we know a lot of contamination can occur. And so we need to sanitize everything. We have to sanitize your equipment. We have to sanitize our tables, our workspace. We have to be clean as well. So you cannot be dirty and go and make products. I make sure that we always take a bath before we go and do any sort of production. If it's manufacturing or bottling, make sure you are clean. We have to have gloves on. And there's something called GMPs, so good manufacturing practices, that will come under all of that. So all those things will be taken care of in that manual, good manufacturing practices, which every business should have before they even start to produce, okay? So after we take our equipment and we sanitize it, then we have to ensure that it is dried properly, because some of the products that we make cannot contain any water, they don't have any preservatives. And so we have to make sure all our equipment and all our packaging, our bottles are well dried. So that's another process. After the equipment has been sanitized, it has to be dried properly. So we have to wait for some time if you don't dry it manually. And even with the manual drying, you still have to ensure that it is dried. So you just leave it out in the open to ensure that it is dried properly. Okay, so equipment is sanitized. And then now we have to bottle the products. Again, we use a manual system where we take the product with our hand and place in the bottles. A lot of the products are done that way, the oils, the creams, the shampoos. If we have to pour it in the bottles manually, if we have to take our shea butter, like a cream, scoop it out and put in the bottles manually. Now, for a small business like ourselves, and because we are having growing demand, we have to look to automate our production. So right now we have gotten equipment where those processes will be done by the machinery. So the bottling, the mixing, so we are getting something to mix where we don't have to use our hand to mix. So it will just be stationary and the machine will do the mixing for us. Okay. Also as well for bottling, like we said, there will be a machine that will bottle for us. So it is automized. We just put our bottles on the conveyor belt. It is timed, so it moves along the conveyor belt, and then the products are filled. Okay, so after we make our products, everything is sanitized, everything is bottled and packaged in their containers. We now have to ensure that we label properly. So that is part of production as well, that we have to label our products. So we do that manually now too, where we have to peel off the labels and put them on the bottles. And so we are procuring equipment, as I said again, to get that automized. So there are machinery where you can put your bottles in and it just puts your labels for you one time. So the key thing to note is that automation is important because for one, it lessens the amount of time that you spend in production in terms of making the product, bottling and labeling the product. So it cuts down your time in half. It will also help you save costs if you have employees that you have to pay. If they have to do it manually, then they might take 2 days to do the same work that a machine with the help might take maybe 1 day to do. Okay, so automation is very key in terms of saving costs and improving on your production efficiency. Miss Imo, is there anything you want me to touch on again?
I wanted to focus on, okay, you identified the first stage, which is the primary, the secondary. Tell us about the tertiary aspect where you have to get the products out on the market and stuff.
Okay, so we have a few retailers here in Dominica. Our main retailer, that is our brick and mortar storefront, is Jodi's. We also have the Zeb Quayle where we sell to as well. And so we package usually we use the same boxes that we get our empty containers and just use those to put the full containers in. And then we ship out. So we usually sell in bulk. Obviously, we have a wholesale price, which is less expensive than if you have to retail individual products. And so we have a wholesale price that applies to those stores. So we will package them in the same boxes. And remember, I said like my business is sustainable. And so we try to recycle as much as possible. We don't throw away too much. And we try to reuse boxes, etc., as much as possible. We ensure that it's packaged properly. There are some products that are heat sensitive. So we have to ensure that from the manufacturing space to the wholesaler, there's a very short amount of time that it stays out because the sun can affect the viscosity of some of the products. So we have to ensure that we send them to the retailers in quick time. As well, we have certain platforms where we sell online as well, and we hold the products and people can buy online and then they come to us, deliver, they pay online, and they come to us and we deliver the products to them directly.
What are some of the challenges that small businesses like yours face?
Plenty. There are a lot of challenges. I think first off, starting off a business, a lot of people go in blindly, not knowing exactly what steps to take and when to take them. I, for one, it is a passion for me, and so I stuck with it. But a lot of people get frustrated because of that fact, that they don't know exactly what to do. And so there are no guidelines, set guidelines for small entrepreneurs like myself. And so that was one challenge that I had to sort of feel out the system to see how can I profit and how can I make my business viable in our society. Another challenge is shipping costs and just accessibility of the island in terms of getting products to the island and also shipping out. So customs duty, they are very high. And so with that, you find that our products are a bit on the high end of the price mark, and that we are not so competitive when it comes to prices when you compare to other products, other commercial products, that mass-produced products on the market. The advantage that we have, however, is that it's natural and people tend to pull towards buying more natural products. Another challenge that I just mentioned it, is the shipping outside of Dominica. So for instance, a lot of you all know about Amazon. A lot of businesses have an Amazon platform where retail shipping, so individual items, shipping individual items is very easy. You can print out your customs form, everything, and you just send it to the post office and your stuff is shipped out. People can order online, everything. I used to have a retail store online, Etsy, but another challenge is that our post office is very unreliable, and even now, post-COVID, it has not regained function. So I cannot ship outside through the post office anymore. There are different shipping options, but they are very, very expensive and would not augur well for small businesses like myself. For example, FedEx and DHL, we cannot use those options if we want to send our products outside or to export. Another challenge I will have to say is the availability of material in Dominica itself, in terms of packaging, maybe markets, how you call that, like paraphernalia for your marketing. You know, those sort of things are very difficult to come by. And so you have to import everything. Again, the high customs duty, the time that it takes to get things to Dominica is another issue. I mean, if you're in States, you order something on Amazon Prime today and maybe next day you have 1 day shipping, next day you can get it. So that is a problem for us as well. So those are the challenges that we have. Yes, I think that is about it. Back to you, Emo.
We have a few upcoming entrepreneurs here, and how easy it was for you to start off your business? Did you conceptualize that, or it just was a hobby like Emonews that you started?
It was a hobby at first because, like I said, it started with me cutting off my relaxed hair. Sorry, and I wanted something natural to use in my hair, so that's how I started researching and mixing stuff together in my kitchen. So that's how it started. But then it grew because I saw the potential for it. And so a business doesn't have to really start out with a business concept. It can start off with a hobby, something you are passionate about that you can turn now into a string of income for yourself. Yeah.
Yes, do you have any questions? Ms. Hunter and Ms. Rosalind, do you have any questions?
Hi, Ms. Daublin or Ms. Dangoben.
Hi, how are you?
How important do you think efficiency is when it comes to production and running a business? Efficiency or productivity?
Efficiency is key, because if you're doing a business, you want your business to be profitable, right? You're not doing business to give people query or to make people happier than yourself. You want your business to be profitable, and for you to make profits, you have to manage your time properly, and that is where efficiency comes in. So all processes, whether it be your production line, everything has to be efficient so that you can save on time and you can get the most value for whatever you spend. If it's your electricity you have to use to make products, if it's just your personal time, you have to, efficiency is very key in ensuring that you get maximum profits from your business. Sorry.
Okay, I have two questions. Good morning, Miss Jodi.
Morning.
Yeah, the first question I have is, can you tell us or tell the students the government regulations that your business have to abide by? So that's one, the government regulations, and two, what government regulations do you have to abide to?
Oh, okay.
Okay, and the second one is, what form of assistance do you receive? I know you spoke about the high duties, high duties, you know, and the high cost of, sending your stuff overseas. So, are there any forms of assistance that's available to your business or that your business has received? Thank you. Yes.
So the first question, government regulations. So first of all, you want to have a viable business, you have to be registered. So your business has to be registered. You have to get a business name. And that is important because sometimes you might have an idea for a business name that is already out there. So they will check that and make sure there are no other businesses with a name similar as the one that you want. You have to have your business registered. As well, depending on what products you make, if it's not a service, if it's a product, the Bureau of Standards is there to ensure that you comply, that your products are free from contaminants, that your label is done properly, those sort of things. So you have to contact the Bureau of Standards, and they offer services like testing your product. They also come to check your workplace to make sure that your production is efficient, that the flow of your production line is the best, etc. So those two things, I think, are what you need to abide by. The second question, in terms of assistance, the government had recently put some monies aside at the aid bank. So I've received, there was a $15,000 that small businesses could receive just post-COVID. So I was a successful recipient of that. And as well, internationally, the Caribbean Export Grant Program, they have a grant, I think it was 15,000 euros. So I was successful, I think, out of 100 and something businesses, and 3 Dominican businesses who were successful out of the entire Caribbean, and Jaydee Naturals was one of them. So we received a grant of 15,000 euro, and we use that now to purchase equipment that will make the business more automized and to be more efficient. Yes. Oh, as well, the government has also put in some waivers for custom duties at the port for manufacturers. So if you are importing labels, labeling equipment, or your packaging, you get your the duties, customs duty waived. That is not applicable, however, to raw materials, which we find we should get some sort of custom waiver or not, or some discount on our raw materials. Yes.
Okay. Mr. Mo, can I ask some more questions? Thank you, Ms. Jodi. You did a splendid job in answering those questions. Madam Chair, Emo?
Yes, you can go ahead.
Okay, yes. And I'm asking those questions, even more for the benefit of the students, okay, considering the topics that they covered and they had to cover. As it relates to ethics, what are your guiding principles? Because you talk about making a lot of use of the natural resources that we have, so this is just one. And the other one is, how fierce is competition for you? You know, looking at the economy right now in Dominica, so many persons are out of jobs. How are your sales, and in terms of that of the competitors, are you doing well? Yes, thank you.
Okay, so the first question on ethics, like I said, our vision, our mission is to use natural ingredients. So that was the intent that I had when I started off the business. And so I found it very prudent for me to get further my studies, because I was doing this blindly. I had no training whatsoever. And I was just going off of stuff I saw on YouTube and on the internet. So I found it important to now train myself, and so I'm almost done my diploma and advanced diploma in organic hair and skin formulation. So that actually backs me up. So it really gives me knowledge as to how to use the products correctly. For instance, we talk about essential oils, and essential oils are good, but do you know that essential oils are the #1 allergens? And so there are certain limits that we have to use in our body. So being informed and having that background would make sure that my products are of top quality and no harm to the environment, no harm to the people who use my products. As well, honesty is very important in business. I'm not going to tell people my product have this, or it has some ingredient that it doesn't have. Okay, so all my ingredients are on my labels. I don't hide anything. So you can see if you're allergic to something, you can see straight up on the label exactly what ingredients are in there. So that is important as business owners, that we disclose everything that is in our products, even, well, not how it is made so much, but at least the ingredients our customers are supposed to know what is in the products and what the products can do. So that's why I rely a lot on feedback, because sometimes I might claim the product does something and it doesn't work for you. So I rely a lot on feedback and what customers say, how the product helps people. I use that to market instead of just saying, okay, my mask will clear your face up in 10 days. No, I will rely on the word of my customer and how it has helped them, and use that now to market. And the second question, what was the second question?
It was with reference to competition.
Oh yes, competition.
You have a lot of competitors.
There will always be competition, and Dominicans too show to flam. They see somebody doing something, they want to try it, especially if they see the person successful. That is our culture. We cannot run from it, we cannot hide from it. That will always happen. Okay, so what you have to ensure, you cannot knock down your competition, you cannot blase them or put them down. Competition is healthy, and it has been healthy for me. I have found that if I find somebody starting to do my whip shea butter or something, I'm going to make my whip shea butter better. So that means that competition always keeps you on your toes. It always keeps you innovative. And that is a key thing in business. You have to be innovative. So competition is healthy. There's a lot of competition in Dominica. And we always want to do things people doing. We never want to think differently. But that is how I stay okura and I stay above the rest, because I always innovate and I always change. My business is dynamic. The ingredients that I have when I start off with is one what I have now. Times are changing. You have new, let's say, products coming out on the market, etc. So you have to be a step above the rest and stay current with trends that are happening in your field, and just be innovative, do things differently, market differently. I just made a video in my patois thing. You have to be connected to your customers and hear what they're saying about your product, hear about their needs, and that is what would set your business apart from others. Okay. Yes, I will answer that.
Yes, you did well. Miss Emma, if you don't stop me, I will have a lot of questions.
I mean, we prefer the students ask the questions. But students, you feel free to ask your questions. We are asking for on behalf of you, but we would love to hear you guys as well. So if you have another question, Miss Matthew, go ahead.
Yes, well, yeah, in relation to, well, I know we will soon be looking at the topic marketing. And who is your target market? Who are you? Everybody of all ages. All walks of life. Okay.
It started with women, obviously, because women are more interested in their hair and they want their hair to grow. But right now, a lot of men are asking for my products. And then what I found is that a lot of women were complaining that, hey, my boyfriend or my husband using the products more than me. So I said, but why only market to the women when obviously there is a market for the men as well? It might not be as much, but my products are for everybody to use. Obviously, that's why I had to come. So that's the thing. So your market can change. With the times, your market can change. So now I see a lot of people asking, can the products be used on babies? And I said no, because a lot of them have essential oils. So there came an idea where, well, Jodi, you can make some baby products that doesn't have any essential oils, that doesn't have any fragrance in it. So you have to, your market will change, times are changing, and your market doesn't stay constant. It's a dynamic thing. And so you just have to move along with it. Mm-hmm.
I see Miss, a student has a question in the chat.
Okay.
I see Kanisha is asking, where do you distribute your products? That's what she's asking. She also asked, do you need a lot of employees in the business? That's what she asked.
I only have, what is the first question?
Do you need a lot of employees in the business? And the other one is, where do you distribute your products?
Okay, so I distribute to Jolly's, to Zeb Quayle, that's a store in the old market, I used to at LA Enterprises, but they're no longer there. So Shop DM, which is the online store, delivers, all over Ireland. So if you want to purchase, you can just go online, go to Shop DM, choose your products, and they deliver to you. As well, Fresh Market and Nature's Discount, where Fresh Vitamin used to be. Now I'm looking to retail overseas. It's been a little hectic because, as I said, the whole issue with the post office. And so we're looking to send in bulk to Antigua, to St. Thomas. We have sent a shipment to St. Thomas already. We have sent to St. Lucia, and we're looking to increase those markets to the other Caribbean islands. Yeah.
Kanisha, did she answer your question satisfactorily? Kanisha, say something.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
So, Ms. Jodi, what advice would you give to the students in terms of business and in terms of production, if they intend one of these days to maybe produce something?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so like I said, if you are looking to start a business, no matter what it is, make sure that it is something you're passionate about. Always try to research. Research is very, very key, because by chance there might be someone doing it before you, and it's important to learn from them, learn from maybe their mistakes that they have. As well, GMPs. So that is homework for all you. Go and research GMPs, good manufacturing practices. Those are used in businesses across the world, around the world, and it ensures that your product is of quality. If you're making a product, it's of quality. Also, marketing is very important. So you can make the best product and nobody knows about it, it will stay in your hand. So marketing is as important as having a good product. So you have to have a good marketing plan, a good marketing strategy to ensure that people know about your products, people give you feedback about whatever it is that you want to do. And just be passionate. Try to lean on the experience of those that are before you. So I mentor a few small businesses that exist now, because I see the need. I don't want them to go through the struggles that I've been through. So it's important to seek others when you are starting off something new.
Okay. You mentioned something about.
Well, give me 1 second.
Miss Emma, while you're there, Perdita George put a question in the chat.
Mm-hmm. Yes, go ahead.
Polita is asking what is the level of communication like in your business, and that is one question. But what I want you to go over for me is the linkage aspect, creating a linkage among the sectors. How do you?
So, yes. So, like I said, you cannot do everything on your own in business. You can start off that way, but at some point, for you to run an efficient business, you have to delegate. So, for example, like I said, I have farmers who bring produce for me, and I stress to them the importance of organic products. So now they are forced to grow organically to supply my business. As well, marketing, you can outsource marketing. So you can have that linkage where someone else outside your company does your marketing for you and creates your marketing plan for you. So those are the two key linkages that I have in my business. And communication, I didn't quite understand the question.
Polita, can you ask?
Like, good morning. Like between you and your employees and the person that deliver your goods.
Well, all of that is one person, I mean. So I don't have any employees as yet. It's only my husband and I making products. Eventually, I will employ some people, but not now. Maybe next year, mid next year or so. Yeah. So I deliver my goods. I am my own employee, myself and my husband.
Okay, miss.
Any other questions?
What money are you making?
They asking, is the business a profitable business?
I wouldn't still be doing it after 10 years if it wasn't profitable. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Miss, where do you produce where you make your products?
I make it in my kitchen currently. However, I'm almost done constructing my manufacturing space. So the grant that I received, part of it was to buy the equipment and part of it was to fix up my space. So the entire downstairs of my home is going to be my manufacturing space. Yeah.
Okay, so I realize we do not have too many more questions. We don't have more questions. So as you know, all good things come to an end and time flies.
Miss Emma, let me just ask one more question.
Sure.
It might be a little troublesome, but Miss Jodi, do you sell on credit or or cash? What are your terms of sale?
So, well, for the bigger supermarkets, I don't sell on credit. Well, obviously they pay within a week also. The smaller ones, yes, I do, but it's not a lot of products. So maybe 10 of each item. So I do sell on credit in that sense. Yes, so I do.
And finally, would you encourage anybody to go into
Orion
this?
has a question, Miss, in the chat.
What aspect of production management do you find more exciting?
Making the products with. Just the whole point of formulation. So for me, if I'm coming up with a new product, I have to try all the different percentages of different ingredients. So that is exciting for me when I get to formulate something new and just to see how different ingredients react with each other and that sort of thing. So I think that is the most exciting part for me.
Any other questions?
Benefits of the social media.
Can you speak louder? Somebody's asking about the benefits of what? I guess not. Miss Alexander, do you have any question? Miss Matthew, we're going to wrap this up.
Okay, let me just ask one final question. We know that as a sole trader, you mentioned that you sole proprietor, we know that one disadvantage is long hours of work. Okay, but we also know that an advantage is all the profits, go to you. Can you just tell us or describe for us a typical day for you in production? What it's like, the number of hours you put in, etc.
So I have an 8 to 4, so I work. So when I get home, let's say about 5, 6, then I would start to make products, and sometimes till 2 in the morning. But the good thing is that when I make a bulk, I might do like maybe 2, for the most 3 times a week, I will produce. So I will, let's say, make in one day, and the next day I will bottle. So I wouldn't just do everything one time. I will make some and then maybe go to sleep around 1 in the morning, and I might start off bottling the next morning, and then when I come home the next day, I will start off to finish bottling. But I only produce in bulk, let's say, for 2 weeks straight, like 3 days out of a week for 2 weeks, every month or so, So, and if, let's say, the products are sold out, then I would just make quickly. But yes, so very long hours. I stay up sometimes 2, 3 in the morning to make sure I finish off and batch and bottle. So yes, but hopefully soon I will have some employees to do that for me.
Miss, one more question before you leave. Do you rather sell products to companies or make your customers come and purchase from you?
Well, it's difficult because I'm working, so I'd rather just sell in bulk to the customers, because it's very difficult for people to be coming in and out of my work at times. So that's why I like ShopDN, because ShopDN actually you can order from them, they deliver to you, so you don't have to come. You can request that you pick up if you want to, but they deliver to you, so that's a very good service. So I rather just sell in bulk to the supermarkets, to the stores, and then people go there and buy.
Okay, Ms. Embo, it looks like now the questions are coming. I see Kanisha has 2 questions in the chat. The first one, she said, do you receive encouragement from your friends and relatives?
Definitely. I mean, those are my biggest supporters, my husband, my parents, and my friends. Imagine sometimes I would give my friends product and say, no, Jodi, you don't know, it's your friends at school, your business faster, and they will pay for it. So, I mean, I appreciate that from them. And yeah, my family and friends are my biggest supporters. They encourage me, they share my stuff, they rally around.
Okay, and she has another question. How much products do you make in a month on average?
Excuse me, sorry?
She's asking how much products do you make in a month on average?
Oh, sometimes. Okay, so for instance, if I have to sell to Jollies, it would be about 300 products a month. That's just for the Jollies.
Wow.
And maybe 300 distributed in the order. So about 600 products a month. Yeah.
Okay. And one last question. Do you intend to merge or become a partnership or any
I don't think so.
in the future, or you're gonna just remain,
I mean, I'm open to it, but right now I don't think so. No, I'm open to it, and I'm open to investors, and but not right now. Not right now. I want to be settled, and I want to increase my production a bit, and have workers doing it for me before I venture there. So yes.
So Miss Jodi, you remember your school days, right? When a session, you remember your school days when a session is interesting and exciting. You didn't want to leave because you have another class coming up. So now the students are asking some questions. I see.
That's fine.
Would you advise anyone to take a loan from the bank if they're just starting a business? And what are the variety of goods do you produce?
You see, for you to take a loan, you have to do the necessary research. You have to know your market. You have to do research. So you have to know, first of all, if you're going to get money to repay that loan. And the only way you can do that is understanding your market and knowing whether or not people will buy. So you must do research. If then you see from that research, then you get numbers where you see, okay, let's say 1,000 people are willing to buy the product at whatever price, then yes, I would advise. But just blindly, just go in and take a loan on a whim, I wouldn't advise that. You have to do your research, you have to know your market, you have to already talk to, if you're going to have suppliers, distributors, you have to factor all that in before you actually go and take a loan. Yep.
And what are the varieties of goods do you produce? I think you mentioned that at the beginning.
The products,
yeah.
I didn't think I went, okay, I'll just go to them. So I do a whipped shea butter. It's made out of natural shea butter and other oils, local oils included. So you can use it on your hair and skin. Then I do a liquid black soap shampoo with various essential oils in there and hair softening stuff. And I do a moisturizing leave-in nectar that has guava and passion fruit extract in there. We have different extracts to strengthen the hair, bamboo, oats, all those things. We have a growth elixir, which is the oil made from all the different dried herbs and different oils. And the main ingredient is Jodi, as I said, which is very good at strengthening the hair and giving the hair shine. We also have the turmeric clay mask. That is the top seller, the best seller. So we sell about maybe 500 of that every month. And so I gave Imo a gift last weekend of her mask. So it's very good. It has clay, and the main ingredients are clay and volcanic ash. That is what it is. And turmeric. And turmeric is good for all kinds sorts of different things. That's good, especially for brightening skin, for reducing dark marks. And the clay has detoxifying properties. So it actually pulls all the gunk out of your pores. And then we have a baby line. So we have like diaper rash cream, we have a baby lotion, and then we now started making a turmeric body wash and shampoo with turmeric. And it's a very, very mild shampoo. So it doesn't, like sometimes you shampoos and your hair is very dry. That one, no, it keeps your hair very moist when you use it. So those are the ingredients. And I've also started making lipsticks, but not for retail so much. I want to do a little more research and a more tweaking of my formulation for my lipsticks. So my lipsticks are all vegan, all natural, no chemicals in there. And lip balms, etc. I've done lip oils and those sort of things. And recently, the most recent product was the hand sanitizer that smells nice. It doesn't smell like alkali. So that's what I've been doing. Those are the products.
I must commend you, Jodi. I could not have chosen a better person to do this session with my students. You are not even 40 as yet. So that's
November, what, 40?
Oh, you're 40, well, you're not even 50 as yet.
November, yes.
Exactly. And you are into production. So I mean, you are young, very beautiful lady, successful. So I hope the students will, take a leaf from you and, know that they can start where they are and develop themselves into something great, something unique.
Definitely.
So
if they need any help, if they can contact me, you can message me on Facebook and message me on Instagram if they need help in anything.
Okay, so we have a lovely young man. He's going to do a little vote of thanks for us. So let us listen to him. The floor is yours, Mr. Kaiser.
Miss Kaiser. Okay, good morning. My name is Kaiser Joseph.
Turn on your camera, let us see you. Let Jodi see who you are.
Miss, my camera not working on Zoom. It's on Google Classroom. It's on Google Meet.
Okay,
that's fine.
Okay. On behalf of the Portsmouth Secondary Fifth Form POB students and teachers, I'd like to say thank you for taking time off your schedule to share and inspire us, future entrepreneurs, on tips and ways to be successful in our future entrepreneurship. We appreciate your time. Once again, thank you.
Anytime. My mom is from Portsmouth, so y'all can call me again.
Thank you, Miss Jodi, and have yourself a good weekend. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Later, alligator.